What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? We are live. Welcome back to the panel. It's only three of us. These are the three amigos. You know, we'll add a person in on sometimes, but right now it's just us three. We normally do this every Thursday at 5 p.m. Western or Pacific Standard Time, and then 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I had a huge event that I had to do, so I had to push it back. I actually went to meet Dennis Prager, so I couldn't turn that down. You know, so I hope that you guys will understand. But let's just get into it, man. We don't need to do a lot of talking. We got ABL over here. We got my boy Derek Gretanego. Y'all know how we get down. I want to start with this because I know I titled it "We Are the Future." We'll get to that point. I want to hear about this Jada Pinkett Smith thing because Derek, you got the juice on Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith, and bro, it's blowing my mind, bro. What you got there?
Look, man, I can't really say I had a juice. It's going viral right now all over. It's trending. Everything is going on with Will and Jada. You know, rumors have circulated last week or so about a gentleman that was close to them. I think his name is August Alsina or something.
He a rapper.
He's a rapper.
He's an artist, ain't he?
An artist or something, and then he got close to the family and this and the other. And so this 12-minute kind of red table thing I caught today, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. Because in it, Jada and Will are talking, and she basically admits that she hooked up with this guy. Now, again, I'm on the panel, I'm the guy who's like, look, like the Tatum, let's not judge people. We don't know their relationship. Maybe they got some weird, even though a lot of us believe in orthodox situations, maybe they have some interesting thing going on. I don't know. My problem with it when I watched the video is she didn't really seem like she cared at all. And Will looks hurt. Like he still looks hurt and he looks bothered to the core. And she's basically saying two things struck me. One was she said that she appreciates the fact that she got to heal August through her cheating with her. It's like so crazy, and it's so feministically turning Will into a beta male. She says, "Oh, I appreciate the fact that we had to have this healing and this, that, and the third." And I'm like, "Yo, is this crazy?" And Will is sitting there with this look on his face, and he even says it. He says it during the thing. He says, "I feel like I'm the usual thing is the woman who stands up there with the cheating athlete." And it's like, I'm gonna stand by my man. He says that during the thing, but my problem was her whole look of the whole thing was like, I don't really care. I don't really give a damn about any of this because I'm for the streets. That's what she looked like. She was
bro, you know what I think about? I can't stop thinking about that song, "Sexual Healing."
Yeah, that's what she said.
Sexual healing.
The healing.
And people clowns, bro.
And he claimed he was broken. He claimed he was used. He claimed whatever. And then everybody was dogging him out, like kind of like, you aren't telling the truth. You aren't telling the truth. Sure enough, they came on today and basically admitted that this is what happened. And Will is still there.
Well, she said what Homeboy said, and I saw a little interview that he got the blessing of Will Smith to be able to be hanging with Jada Pinkett Smith. And I'm like, go ahead, ABL.
They were trying to deny that today, talking about, oh, no, that part didn't really happen. But I believe every word August Alsina said, every single word. They were trying to say, oh, well, nobody can give permission to be with me other than me. That's what Jada was saying. But it's like, nah, see, you switching the words. It wasn't about permission. It wasn't that. It wasn't like, okay, you have access to my wife. It wasn't that. It was like, yo, I'm not even worried about it. Whatever y'all doing is cool. I'm not going to be involved. That's not giving permission. That's just saying I don't really care. So I believe every single word August Alsina said. What's going on with Will and Jada? It's this Hollywood stuff. That's pretty much how things go. They're also involved in Scientology. They're kind of getting into some strange things. That's kind of how it goes. But then they want to come on your TV talking about how perfect they are and how you got to support Black Lives Matter. You got to support this. You got to support. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Don't try to come and preach to me about how to be righteous and whatnot when you got something crazy going on in your house. All right.
I mean, these the same people. They so hypocritical, man. And I'm telling you, these people that do not retain any level of spirituality in their consciousness, they fall into this. I mean, years ago, I was hearing about them having swinging and stuff. You know what I'm saying? You're like, what is these people doing? Come to find out, that's probably what they were doing. And then they talking about healings and all this other stuff, man. Swinging, dude. That's like that's your wife and y'all cool. You cool with him right here, and then now they trying to circle back because, dude, their reputation is not just rumors right now. This is like confirmed behavior that they're doing.
Right. I just like I said, B, maybe it's me. Maybe it's just the season of Trump in 2020. The part that hurts me the most is watching that man's face. And this is my thing, bro. We're trying to get this thing back to a point to where males take the pants back and males start acting like men. And a lot of the black men and people of color, men of color, even white men get back up and say, you know what? I could take care of my woman. I could be the alpha man. And to sit there and watch his face, bro, whenever she said, I don't really regret it because, you know, I had to heal him. I'm like, you gonna let this go down and you sitting there with your straight face? You know how beta you look right now? I would have got up and turned the table. I would have done something. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Bro, you can't go out like a chump.
You can't go out like that, man.
Hey, bro, I you know, you got to do something. You know, even if you don't.
I would have flipped that red table.
Right.
I'd have been like, I'm out. You know, then people would be like, dang, Will really cared instead of him looking like a beta. But see, this speaks to a bigger issue, bro. This speaks to a bigger issue of the emasculation of men, bro. I feel like that some of these men, and it's not just the women, it's not their fault, but I feel like some of these men are not, I guess, getting exposed to masculinity the way they should. And they're trying to go along and get along. They don't want to do the structural relationships where it's the man is the head of the household. And then, you know, then you have the woman and the woman leads the children and different things like that people believe in the religious realm. They want to move so far away from that they begin to get lost to the tune of them just letting women walk all over them. Look at his kids. I think one of them, Willow, is that his kid? Willow or whatever?
Yeah.
He a girl now.
And Jaden and Willow, I think.
Jaden and Willow. I mean, one of them is one of the boys is a girl right now. It's a girl. Which one is it's a boy that look like a girl. Which one?
It's hard to keep up. It's hard to keep up. Both of them. It's hard to keep up.
You know what's funny about that?
Go ahead.
Willow is named after. Willow's a daughter named after the father, and Jaden is a son named after the mother.
See, and you know what? I don't know who was born first, but it make you wonder, did they want the other kid? You know what I'm saying? Did they want the sex to be something different before it was born? And now that's why they all twisted. You know, the funny thing is that this is the same type of emasculating behavior as the basketball player. What's his name? Him and Gabrielle Union. D-Wade. These men that won't take their rightful position in the household. And now they boys out here being girls. Because the women are actually leading the household. And some of these ultra feminine or ultra masculine women who are saying, oh, I wear the pants because I make more money or whatever some of these women are doing. And I'm not saying it's bad to make more money than your husband. But all I'm saying is that taking that rightful position, these women are leading these little boys into being girls. And the men just sitting back there taking it. It's out of control, man.
I agree, man. It's crazy out here, especially with the D-Wade situation, because that thing keeps spiraling further and further. It's like the more people talk about it, the more he gets. Yeah, I think he's now got like flames in his head, like the old Dennis Rodman dude, which we accept from Dennis Rodman because it's Dennis Rodman. We love him. But D-Wade, we know that ain't you. So something is going on. And I don't really know. It's almost like he's taking it further than his kid ever wanted to. And, you know, and it's kind of like, what is this all about? What is the agenda? Who's feeding this agenda to the people?
Who's living vicariously through who? That's what I want to know. Because a lot of times men do this a lot. You know, your boy got some talent. You know what I'm saying? He look like he's gonna be an inspiring football player. Man, you got him at the summer camps. You know, you wearing his jerseys. You all in it. You know what I'm saying? And now you see D-Wade doing that with his boy being a little girl. He all in it. I'm for the community, and I'm reaching out, and I'm having a space so that I can hear him clearly, and you know I'm leaning in. You know, you better lean into a belt or something because you're getting real soft. Let me get the super chat real quick. Right. Olivia said, "Are you and ABL offended that you didn't make the Snoop list?" I'm offended.
I'm offended too.
I'm very offended. I'm highly upset.
I almost want to tell Snoop, wait a minute, bro. You ain't put me or ABL on the coon list. We can't get no coon award. Yeah. Now, you know, but you made a video about the ABL. I didn't make a video about it because I wasn't on the list. I ain't gonna
Yeah,
even
that's
lie.
what my video was. I'm not on the list.
Yeah.
Put me on the list. Put all of us on this panel right now on the list. We got to be there
Please,
because, and really,
please.
the whole thing with the Coon list, what it did, it had a big a backfire on this page. Everybody was on there. Trump 2020, stop hating. Where can I follow them? What's their ads on social media? It backfired for real on this page. It didn't go like he planned.
Yeah, because you forget he just called out some of the more prominent conservatives, and we are winning the social media war, dude. We way more flame and fire than what they're doing.
Yeah, I saw the Hodge twins were on there. I talked to them the next morning, and they were preparing their video to drop it. They were saying we're dropping some videos, and for me, when you first see something like that, you get offended. And then I thought to myself, I said, you know what? The way that I'm approaching this gentleman from now on is I'm way too old. Brandon, yeah, we way too old. So now I'm not calling this guy Snoop anymore. I'm calling him Calvin. So from now on, his legal name is Calvin. I tell everybody on my page, everybody that follows me, when they come on, they call him Calvin. That is his name because I'm way too grown. Just like remember the Cedric the Entertainer comedy thing when the dude says, call me Delicious. It's like, man, I'm too grown to be calling you Delicious. So Snoop, that name is retired from me from now on. His name is Calvin. That is your government name. Now,
I need to find it. We need to do the same thing with T.I. and Lil Bow Wow.
Right.
I think people still call him Lil Bow Wow. He a grown man. I think he got kids, and we call him Lil Bow Wow.
I call him Shad. I call 50 Curtis. I call them all their real names now, man. It's just kind of ridiculous. Look, I have a question because somebody mentioned it in the comments. Did he take the thing off? Did he take it off? Somebody said that he took the Coon thing down, or somebody took it down. I don't know if it's still on his page. So
I don't know.
I'm not sure. If he did, that'd be interesting.
Somebody said, let me read this super chat. Memes over outrage. Thanks so much for the super chat. It says, we need Black women accountability ASAP first so we can talk about the other elephant in the room. Can't bring fathers back in the home until we can have a honest talk. Ready to have the conversation when y'all are. Ooh, Blexit.
Hey, what's going on? I know her. That's Amy from Blexit, Tennessee. Shout out to her.
Okay.
She lives in my area. Yeah.
She must be a Blexiteer because she spit that fire. So I mean, let's have that conversation, man. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think it's not just one way. Fathers in the home or fathers not being in the home I'm telling you, it ain't just the men. Sometimes it's the women. Because sometimes the father want to be there, but these women put up roadblocks. They act like they the southern border of the United States of America. They putting up barricades and everything, not letting fathers really have their relationship with their sons or their daughters. And I think that is the crucial element in which we should have a conversation too. My thing, since I'm a man and I do have a son, is that no, I think men should be held accountable. You should be at least giving the best effort that you can. Pay the child support like you're supposed to, and then you can advocate, well, hey, I'm doing all this and you're not letting me see my child, and you the problem. I think that men should hold that accountability, but I think that we should have the conversation about women being involved in that process as well. Your little man need his daddy. I know you don't like him. You probably think he ugly, he was dirty to you, or whatever the case may be, but like, look at the big picture. That's like a man hoarding his daughter and won't let his daughter meet her mom. It's like, no, that's where you may not like her mom, but that's where she's going to get her ideas from. That's where she's going to get her understanding of how to be a woman from. But anyway.
Right. I think you look at that in that scenario where we see in a lot of Black culture is there is this innate need for some sort of sacred feminine that says like, basically, that's my kid. You're not going to have no other woman around my kid. You know what I mean? And they start thinking that way. And it's like, well, look, they need their daddy. It don't matter if they need their daddy because their daddy mama don't need to be around my kid. Their daddy new girlfriend don't need to be around my kid. No matter how beneficial it is to the actual child, they are still in a sense, still angry and a tad bit upset for whatever the breakup is, but that should be a separate issue. And we're allowing it to become part of the issue, which we need to find a way to break up because it's going on too much. It's leading to too much domestic violence and too much other stuff.
And I agree with you 100%, man. I think both parties need to take responsibility, and you need to look at the child. That's what I think people should do. Look at the child. What's best for the child, not what's best for you or your feelings. What's best for your child, and then move forward with that in mind. Let me grab one more super chat. I think it's two more that I want to get. Young lady, let's see. Charlotte said ABL and more. I think she mean ABL and the rest of us because I guess ABL is the coolest one on the panel. So ABL and the rest of y'all fools. Thoughts on my suggesting you to file a petition with change.org to ban BLM, Antifa, and other racist, criminal, totalitarian, Marxist terrorists from the United States under the current U.S. statute pertaining to terrorism. You have the platform. So pretty much what she's requesting is that we do a change.org saying that we're gonna remove those parties. I would bet you $1 million if you did a change.org, they'll ban that thing. They'll take that thing down if you say Black Lives Matter, and especially if they find out you white. I mean, it's over. It's over. Tara said, "Hey guys, God bless you all. Trump 2020." Appreciate it, Tara. So, what do y'all think, man? What do you think about that? Do you think we'll be able to get away with change.org petitioning to remove BLM and them?
Well, I'm gonna chime in right quick. I mean, I think that we could do it, but like you were saying, Brandon, if it was somebody white, it'd probably get sniped ASAP. That thing get taken down so quickly because it'd be sending some kind of hateful thing. Everything now is hateful. I saw. Did you guys see that situation happen in California where the lady painted over the Black Lives Matter mural on the ground and got charged with a hate crime? It's
right.
like, okay, what are we doing? So if you're painting over a Black Lives Matter, some yellow paint on the ground, and they won't be there that long, you get charged with a hate crime for that, then what will happen to you, or what happened to the petition if you try to put it on change.org to have them seen in some kind of hate group? But like you said, if it's somebody white, that might happen. But us, I'm not really sure. It might float for a little while. Even if change.org doesn't, let it stay, you can go to White House, file a petition there, or just, get the word out in general that it is a terrorist organization. Talk about their ties to Marxism, talk about their ties to communism, talk about their ties to all the things, the LGBTQ, talk about all that stuff and get the word out there. So even if there's not an actual petition that says this is X, Y, and Z, please have this recognized as that, officially, we all know what it is because the word is out there to the public.
No, I think that's a perfect way to do it. I think the more awareness at least will get people thinking. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think some people are not understanding that Black Lives Matter is not a 501c3. So when you are donating money, it's going to a third party. And then that third party is disseminating that money to what? Democratic candidates? The DNC? I mean, those are things that I've heard and I've seen. I've heard that the BLM has been supporting a lot of Democratic candidates. Joe Biden had a historic donation year, and not donation year, but donation month. But man, Joe Biden can't even remember where he at half of the time. How is he getting donations? How is he getting support? That man can't do no rally, bro. He'll be at the rally forgetting where he at, forgetting his name. He talking about I'm running for Senate. You just like, bro, it's no way that he's getting people riled up enough to vote for him unless they're playing a video of Trump and saying vote for Joe Biden while you're watching a video of Trump because Joe Biden ain't saying nothing to nobody.
And then nobody's at their rallies either. If you see him at any kind of rally, it might be like 5 people there. So it was like if nobody's showing up, and if people do show up, you pretty much just spew nonsense, just straight gibberish. You don't know who you are, where you are, what's going on. Then how can that translate into record-setting month for donations? Where's money really coming from? Yeah,
bro. I mean, look at this, man. I often wonder, like, is this whole CV19? Y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna call it the 19. Is the 19 them using it to do certain political things? Because I often wonder. All of a sudden, it's time to go back out of opening up everything. It's time to go back down. Now, no, you can't have more gatherings of 50 or more people. Or they doing all this, and it's like, well, wait a minute. When we opened up the country, it should have been an expectation that there was going to be an increase in cases. And now that we see an increase in cases, there shouldn't be shutting down stuff. Now that Donald Trump is having rallies all around the country. Y'all didn't say nothing when people were protesting. They were out there, Black Lives Matter, spitting and slobbing on each other, killing people. I mean, people killed out there. And they didn't say nothing. They took COVID off the thing. They didn't even have a ticker. COVID could have killed 400,000 people in 2 weeks, and you wouldn't have known because they ain't gonna play it on TV. And then all of a sudden, oh my God, everybody, wear your mask. Listen, man, I'm gonna tell everybody this: if you got a mask on, I want your spouse or somebody next to you to fart And if you can smell that fart through that mask, you're gonna get COVID. You're gonna get COVID like it ain't nobody business, man. Quit believing that lie.
I agree, B. And we also got to look at, like, I don't know if you heard about this NBA thing they're trying to pick up at Disney right now. They're trying to do the rest of the NBA season at Disney. And I believe it's the Raptors bus pulled up today. I saw online the Raptors bus. And on the Raptors bus, it's a big Black Lives Matter logo. So, I mean, you start thinking about when you talk about putting the reins on Black Lives Matter, also look at who's sponsoring them and how difficult it will be to go against ABC, go against Disney, go against these people that have their back. That's what you got to look at as well. A lot of times when we fight the good fight, it's hard for us to find sponsors to fight the good fight with us. These people got, mega companies backing them for their agenda, mega companies backing them for agendas to silence us all. Now, to your point about the COVID, I don't know if you guys saw, but this week I went to the march for Vanessa Guillen, who's the soldier who was killed, I believe at Fort Hood, butchered, Hispanic girl around 20 years old. Went to the march. They couldn't get any national pub, man. They trying to get national pub. Now, keep in mind how God does things. This is the same city in Houston, the same city where just weeks before they had a solid gold casket going through the streets, solid gold casket with horses and carriage and everything, and thousands and thousands of people going through the streets for an agenda-based thing with George Floyd. But this poor girl who enlisted in our military, brave for us, you know what I'm saying? She gets butchered up by what happens to be an African-American soldier. And all of a sudden, it can't, Don Lemon, we can't talk about that nationally. We can't find any justice for her. We trying to figure out what's going on for the Hispanic community as well. So a lot of Hispanics, I do know in the Texas area, Florida area, are very upset, and they want to know where's justice for them as well.
See, let me tell you this, man. They didn't back themselves in a crazy corner, man, and it's just gonna all go to crap. When you have put so much energy in George Floyd, you have none left. Like, you put energy in a false agenda. You have put energy not in justice for George Floyd, but the elimination of the police department, the racist police officers around the country. When you put all of that energy there, and it's already, we know that it's a false energy. When real stuff happened, you have nothing left. They went all out on George Floyd. Caskets, funerals, they did everything. And then the first time a kid get murdered for no reason in Chicago or any of these inner cities, they don't have nothing to give. There was a young lady, the young girl that got killed in Atlanta. Nobody even reached out to her mom, the Turner family. Nobody reached out to her mom. Nobody did nothing for them at first. No, they had nothing. They had a GoFundMe, and we had communicated through a third person with her family. And they had told us through them that they had no help from anybody initially. They started the GoFundMe. We knew about it. We could verify it. They had like $4,200. They had no money. Dude, you can't even imagine how mad I was that this little girl get killed in a BLM protest when they had nothing to do with it. And they had $4,200 in Atlanta. And eventually, what's his name that dressed up like a girl in his stuff? I forget his name, but he paid for her funeral. And
Tyler Perry.
Tyler Perry ended up coming in the 11th hour and paying for her funeral. But still, when I took notice to it, she only had $42,000 in her account. And I made a video on YouTube, and I had poured my heart out on it. And I said, everybody go donate to help this girl. Now she's at $220-some thousand of donations. And I believe that 99% of the people who donated was from my channel. We raised $200-some thousand for this young girl and her mom, because she passed away. Her mom needed a new car. And I hope to God she used that money to get out the hood and put us kids somewhere and take in a private school and, get up out of there, because it's just shameful what's going on, man. And they've gone so far to the left. They've gone so far to the LGBTQ and the police brutality that, man, they don't have enough to help the real victims in this country.
Brandon, are they aware of how much you've helped? That's something I was asking. I was kind of concerned about. I was like, did they just think this money? Are they going to be aware that it came from somebody with your views, with your background, or is this going to be? I don't, because for me, like most conservatives, we've made the decision to be tired of the left taking credit for a lot of things. I know the Bible says, you know, to do or whatever, but at a certain point, it's like a lot of times, even with prison reform, we saw that Donald Trump did all this stuff, and then you have a lot of rappers come out afterwards talking about, I'm the one that did prison reform. It's like, no, you didn't. You weren't even to help. So are people aware of what you did? Because it's miraculous how much money. I think ABL thinks the same. It's like, dude, I couldn't believe it when I saw how much you did.
Yeah, it was. I'm not sure if they are specifically, because when we reached out to the family, there was a person who reached out to the family that's clearly a Republican, and she had mentioned to the family that, hey, I'm Republican, you know, I'm a Trump supporter. Is that okay with you guys? You know, it's okay if I help you? And the family was like, we don't care what you do. You know, we want the help. And I'm not sure if the family specifically knows that that my channel is what got them hundreds of thousands of dollars. I think it may be because they have comments on the GoFundMe channel, and I went and looked at the comments, bro, and it's like hundreds and hundreds of comments. That's like, the Officer Tatum, I got this from the Officer Tatum channel. The Officer Tatum led me here. I mean, if the family was to look at any comments on there, they will see. They read 50 comments. They will see out of 50 comments, it'll be at least 40 comments saying the Officer Tatum, you know, sent us here. So I really felt like that we did a good service on this channel, and we have done more, in my personal opinion, than some of these black activist groups. I felt like that BLM should pay for all these kids' funeral. They raised.
They got the money.
Go ahead.
They got the money. So I mean, what are we doing? Like
$300 million. I mean, they can give $1 million to every kid that died in the inner city. Every family, they can give $1 million to every family. What are they doing with the money? See, this is where the rubber meets the road, and what's going to F them in the end is because when all of this is happening, somebody's going to bring up, well, where's BLM financially? Oh, they don't have any money. You know why they don't have any money? They probably don't have any money to give because they're giving it to political candidates. This is a money scheme. This has nothing to do with Black lives, because there's no way they can fund police brutality. You can't give money to you can't give money to stop police brutality because it don't exist, and there's no way of actually doing that. So all the money that they're accumulating, what are they doing with it? Maybe they'll create pamphlets and stuff, but they're not doing anything with it. But I will say this: thank everybody for supporting that young lady. I made a video about it, and so people may be aware of it. Go ahead, ABL.
But yeah, I mean, if you just go to their website, Black Lives Matter website, they tell you what they do. It's like, okay, just like Don Lemon was trying to say, oh, it's about police brutality. And then Terry Crews, when he was on the show, he was like, well, it's not just police brutality. You go to their website, you can see what they're talking about. They're talking about trying to destroy the nuclear family structure, talking about getting politicians out of office that shouldn't be there. They do a whole lot of different things. So if you go to their website, they show you what they do. And once you really read it and understand what's happening, you can identify where the money is going. You know, people don't really go to the website. They don't really read. They just believe in the mantra of Black Lives Matter. They say it kind of mindlessly, but they don't understand what's behind that mantra and what's really going on. And when you going out there, you rallying, you protesting, money is being donated on your behalf. Where's the money going? Go to the website. People that are out there are just kind of being used as pawns at this particular point. It's kind of a global crowdfunding type thing for political purposes.
Yeah, it's funny, man. It's smart on their part because Black Lives Matter is trendy. So like you said, they can sit, people all across the country put Black Lives Matter on the sign. They sit out there and protest. Because the more people talk about it, it gives you an SEO algorithm. So if everybody say BLM, hashtag BLM, Black Lives Matter, you type in Black Lives Matter, you see them on the side of the road, you're like, what is Black Lives Matter? You type in there, you know, and end up encouraging people to donate. So you out here fundraising for Black Lives Matter and they're fundraising for Joe Biden. You know, when you look at it, you say, it's a shell, it's like a shell title. It's like Black Lives Matter. Okay, nobody can talk about Black Lives Matter. You can't disagree with it because you'll look bad. But underneath that shell, they're not even focusing on Black lives. It's more about trans lives. It's more about LGBTQ. It's more about dismantling the patriarchy and eliminating the government system of capitalism. That's pretty much what it is. Founded by three, and Jesse Lee Peterson's name,
lesbian.
Man, I love Jesse Lee, man. He know I love him. So I like to make fun of him sometimes. But you know, that's pretty much what it is. Why do they want to destroy the patriarchy? Because They are lesbian women. And so they want people to be in households where just women or two women. They don't want the male identity to be involved in this situation. That's why they don't have any real male leaders. And then the one Andre McKenzie was he's soft. That dude is anything soft.
You know what? The only reason that they will have a male in there is if you are either gay or trans, some kind of other identity. Men like us, we have no place in Black Lives Matter. Only if we get shot, killed by the police. That's the only way they're going to have us be involved with them at all, is to be used as a dead pawn in their game.
Right. White police. Yeah, let's get it straight.
White police, yeah. If it's a black cop, then that don't count.
It's a wash, man. The cop can execute you in the middle of the street, boom, back of the head. But with your hands up, and they don't even care. If he's white, they own it. I mean, the cop can thump you in the back of your ear, and they crying, protesting. Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. I mean, I'm going to tell you what they did in Phoenix, which is outrageous. They're talking about Black Lives Matter for a Hispanic guy that got killed by the police in Phoenix. Well, come to find out, which is on body-worn camera, that the dude had shot and he stabbed somebody not too long ago. They found him. He rolls the windows up. He don't cooperate with police. He pulls a gun on a police officer and they shoot him. In the body-worn camera, you can see them retrieve the gun from the guy. And they out there protesting all day long, fundraising for Black Lives Matter, and that dude wasn't even black. So let me get a couple of these super chats real quick. Praying for the rapture. Thank you for the donation, $100 donation for my flight to Atlanta. I don't need the donation for the flight, but I will use that towards the flight. I really want to go out there and meet her family, since we've done good work for her, and just make sure she got the help that she needs. We communicated. I think there's a family member that's going to help her, but I would love to go down there and hug her and tell her everything is okay. So thank you for the super chat. Let's see, Cammie, thanks so much for the super chat. Brandon, you have kids when school resumes. What would you say to the kids that come back? They talk about the leftist agenda. They're pushing that to your kids. See, my son, I already know. Now, I can't speak for the other side of this relationship, but my son know about this old crazy Black Lives Matter stuff. Because when he with me, he hear me talking about it. And my son brought up the other day, they put a Black Lives Matter notification on his video game. Mm-hmm. And he hit me up right away. Hey, Daddy, look what they sent me. They sent me this Black Lives Matter stuff. My son, my little 9-year-old. I'm like, that's right, son. You know that's bull crap because you biracial. I don't even tell my son he's black. You're biracial. You got 100% white, 100% black in you. Don't give me none of that. I'm black. I'm gonna grow your afro out. I'm like, boy, you got white people that love you just as much. You got a black side that love you. Don't give me that Colin Kaepernick stuff. Right. Don't try to pick a side, bro. You got both. Anyway. But let me say let's touch on this lockdown stuff, man, and what it means to the election, because I'm increasingly getting irritated with this fake mask stuff. Bro, the mask ain't gonna stop you from doing nothing. It ain't gonna stop you from getting it. And I'll tell you this: if they really cared, then everybody that had it already and has recovered from it, why they gotta wear a mask? Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I mean, the whole thing is phony though, because I did a video, I think it might have been today or yesterday, about this whole thing in New York. Bill de Blasio saying, well, look, we're going to ban any large gatherings in the city. So no parades, none of that kind of stuff. We're going to ban that. He was on CNN talking about this. And then Wolf Blitzer said, what about some of the protests, the Black Lives Matter protests? Well, we understand what time it is. And, this is a sensitive time. So we're going to still let those go on. It's like, wait a minute. Wait. If you're going to ban large gatherings because of health reasons, then you should ban large gatherings because of health reasons, not just certain ones that you feel like are appropriate. And it don't make no sense. Then somebody would say, well, they're going to be outside ABL. They're going to have on masks. Well, I mean, the parade is outside too, ain't it? I never seen a parade inside a gymnasium or a basketball court or something like that, or in somebody's office. It's going to be outside too. So why can't you have a parade? And he also was like welding doors of parks shut. It's like, why you welding the gate to an outdoor park shut? Like, what are we really doing? Like, you picking and choosing what you want to have in the city. So, I mean, at a certain point, it's just like, I need some consistency from people. If you're going to pick a thing, stick on it. And the experts too, they said the same thing. Oh, well, we shouldn't have certain things, but certain things we can. It's all over the place. It's to the point now where I don't believe anybody that comes on TV and says anything like that.
Fox News, I believe even Fox, and then they're airing stuff to where, I don't know if you guys saw it, to where it said that the CDC found that, these gatherings for mass protests are actually bad, and you can get COVID from those actual protests. But the Black Lives Matter protests are different, and they're not actually risky for COVID-19 transmission. And I'm like, there's no way we could be like, if you're at home, I want to know the people that are buying this, bro. Like, who's buying what they are selling? It makes no sense. I talked to the guys before about in Houston, Texas right now, the mayor is trying to stop the state convention, the state GOP convention right now. They've already, I guess, shut down the building it was going to be in, and is trying to cancel the contract for the building. And so now I'm sitting here and I'm saying to the Texans, I'm basically like, what are you guys going to do? It's kind of like ABL said. I mean, can't you find a field? I mean, we may need to take this thing back to 1836 in the Alamo, back to where Texas was first started, and say, look, you could try to shut us down with your Democratic mayor, but we will have this somewhere. And I think, Brandon, that's eventually what's going to happen before this election, because this is going to get worse with the infringement of rights before it gets better. So you need to mentally prepare for what you're going to do. Like I talk to Brandon, different people all the time. Are you prepared for them to just September 15th, October 1st, make something up and just kick Brandon, ABL, and Derek off of Twitter for 2 months? Like, just for the hell of it. Like, because I totally see this happening, these people doing this. As far as Donald Trump, Brandon has shown unwavering, Trump is going to win, Trump is going to win. And even me, I was kind of like, look, we need to do this, we need to do that. But the more I think about it and the more I'm actually watching what's happening is I look at the middle class Hispanics who are pissed off at people burning down buildings, burning down churches. I look at the middle class Asians who are very quiet, but they're pissed off that their businesses are being burned down and being rioted. I'm very, very sure that Donald Trump has the votes to landslide this victory. The only way we lose is if we allow some sort of Jedi mind trick for them to keep, these things they keep putting up, talking about Biden win by 170%. How do you win by 170%? Biden is beaten. And once people start believing that, and then they say, okay, we can steal this now. We can steal it, and they'll take it because we've given them the graphic. We just have to be aggressive and say, look, all those fake numbers, we already know what's going on. We know that we landsliding this. And if you try to tell us something different, all hell's gonna break loose. Like the day after. So don't try to come with no weird stuff.
Yeah, let me interject. Somebody, Julia said, send me a super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Said, did you see the interview of Fat Man Scoop? He interviewed Candace Owens and he ended up agreeing with everything she said. But he interviewed Floyd's brother a few days ago, and it says Floyd's family never saw a dime from BLM. Like, if that's not the end of BLM, I don't know what will be. Now, I got to verify what the young lady said, which I wholeheartedly believe her, but I really want to see some facts on that, bro, because BLM, I mean, like everything that has to do with Floyd is a BLM movement. Like they coined George Floyd, and they're all ranting, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. They're raising money. People see, you don't know where to send the money to other than his GoFundMe, but you don't know where to send the money to help the cause for Floyd. So they send it to Black Lives Matter. And now Black Lives Matter didn't give them a dime. See, this is the thing. Where did the money go though? They see, this is what I think is happening. They're not a 501c3, so they don't have to disclose. I don't know if they even have to disclose any of their donations, and I don't think they directly receive donations. When you go to their website and you go to donate what you think is Black Lives Matter, it's a third party donation link. You know what I'm saying? I forget the name of the place. Act Blue. Act Blue. So then you go to Act Blue. I need to Google it because I haven't really looked into it as much as I should, but I want to Google Act Blue and say, well, what is their mantra? What do they stand for? Are they a complete impartial? Or they're a Democratic run thing? I heard that Act Blue has donated millions of dollars to Democratic candidates. So what are they doing with the Black Lives Matter donation money?
I really don't think, I would love to say I agree with you. I really don't think it matters for 3 words that I want you to repeat with me. The Clinton Foundation. Like at the end of the day, where's their money been? But they still asking people in Haiti where that money is. But they're still around because that's where the machine is. And that's what I was trying to tell you about the Toronto Raptors bus pulling into Disney with Black Lives Matter on it. And this in this society we live in, it's all about the clout. So if they have clout people pushing Black Lives Matter, it doesn't matter if they see $1 because it's all about the clout chase anyway. It's the same way with the huge people pushing the Clinton Foundation. You have people in Haiti running around America right now, like protesting for 5 years, looking for money from the Clinton Foundation, and nobody's doing anything about it. So I would love to say this is the end of this, but I mean, at the end of the day, if these big power people are pushing it, I don't know where we go from here.
Cammy got ABA. You got something to say? I'm gonna read Cammy's super chat after you.
Yeah, I'm gonna read something right quick about Act Blue. Just a quick little line. It says several records for the year 2020 were broken in the week following the killing of George Floyd, with over 19 million raised on May 31st on one day, the highest so far for that year. On June 1st, that yearly record was again broken with 20 million in donations. Over half of donations in the week following the killing went to charitable, quote unquote, non-political causes, including one Act Blue page devoted to bail fund, which raised over $1.5 million from over 20,000 donors.
So,
but the family couldn't get a dime of that money.
Dude, I need to make more videos.
19 million in one day.
It's a lot of
a day.
That's crazy, dude. From how many donors?
Hold on. It doesn't say how many donors in that one day, but they raised for the bail fund money. They raised 1.5 million from 20,000 donors just for the bail fund money. That's not even the money for right after the George Floyd thing. That was 19 million in one day.
They ain't got a dime of that. They didn't get nothing. They didn't get a trust fund. They didn't get nothing. I mean, it's crazy, man. Derek, Cammy got a message for you. Says, for Derek, I watched your IG live last night and love how you were encouraging people to speak up and be on the right side of history. Also, you touched on Kanye taking votes away from Biden. I think that's a good question. You know, my wife tend to believe that Kanye will take votes away from Biden. I think Kanye will take votes away from Trump. What do you think, man? What do y'all think?
I honestly think there's absolutely not one vote. Like, that's just me though. Not one vote he's going to take away from Trump, because Kanye's like that dude who you appreciate he's on your team as long as he don't mess with the big dog. You know what I mean? And as soon as he messes with the big dog, it's like, oh, now you messing with Al Capone. Like, we was with you cool, you Frank Nitti, but you ain't Al Capone. Like, so we quit to dump you if you're a traitor. However, with the Joe Biden situation, you have people that are dead set against Donald Trump. They're going to vote against Donald Trump because they hate red ties now because of Donald Trump. They hate anybody with blonde hair because of Donald Trump. These people cannot be changed whatsoever. So we have to deal with these people. So when Kanye steps in, it's basically a situation where you say, okay, they would vote for Biden, but now they're going to vote for Kanye. We welcome that. We appreciate that. And when I look at Kanye's interview, his interview wasn't dogging Trump, but he sure dogged Biden. So we look at it, he says, look, I'm not on the Trump train anymore. I'm taking the red hat off. But Joe Biden is not special. Donald Trump is. So he's still giving Trump some little pats to say, oh, blah, blah. But then he's doing just enough that if you are a smart person on the Trump train and you were kind of leaning, he's doing enough to throw you off, like by saying, I'm gonna name some lady in Utah, my vice president that y'all never heard of, that's over some church, to where you like, yo, even if I was kind of thinking about it, I'm gonna stick with Trump. I think there isn't one vote, bro, like one vote that would be swayed away. Now, what I do know too is, like I said, I monitor Shade Room and Baller Alert and all these places. There's a lot of people, man. There's a lot of people that do not like Joe Biden just as much as they don't like Trump. We get to hear about all the African Americans that hate Trump daily, like they put it in our face. But there's a lot of people that hate Joe Biden's guts too. And this Kanye thing is kind of like, there used to be a movie called Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor. And he made a joke because he had so much money, he ran on none of the above. He said none of the above, and none of the above won. And I feel like Kanye is in that frame to where he's like, look, if you black, voting for me is like none of the above. It's the cool thing to do, the protest thing to do. And the way I look at it in your protest, okay, get there, because that's helping me out. Go ahead and get everybody to vote. None of the above. Go get them to vote Kanye. I really think Kanye is not even really focused on 2020. I think he wants to do something in 2024, and he's doing a play to where maybe later on at the end he'll drop out and be like, "I'm really going to be in 2024, y'all. Like y'all come back or whatever." But I totally, 100%. And I said this in my live yesterday. Even if he's not telling the truth, he's giving people an out to say, I'm not going to vote, like black people. Like, you understand what I'm saying? If he says Kanye's going to run, because you've been forced this whole time to say Biden to Trump, Biden to Trump, Biden to Trump. There are some black folks in the hood, in the ghettos, in the barrios, and wherever else, they'll say, well, Kanye's running, I'm going to vote for him. And then when Kanye drops out, what do you think they're going to do? Go back to Biden or Trump? No, they're going to be like, nah, I'm chilling. I'm watching Netflix. I'm not going to vote at all. Mm-hmm. Who does that benefit? Trump or Biden?
No,
100%.
I think you've convinced me to a certain degree, because I think that is a big one, because this is the thing, people may be in that position where they say, okay, I don't want to vote at all, right? But I need Trump to be out of there. So I'm going to vote for Biden, but I hate both of them. But if you got Kanye there, you can say, okay, I have the dignity of still voting, and I'm not voting for either one of them. I'm just going to vote for Ye. And I feel like Trump supporters are like, full throttle. I'm ready to vote for Trump like 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go for it. You feel me? So, yeah, I agree, man. I think that it probably is true, man. I think that maybe Ye may pull some of these insecure voters into the realm of voting and not defaulting to Biden. You know what I'm saying? Like, they hate Trump and they don't want to default to Biden, so they'll vote down the middle, which will pull more from the Biden side.
Right. You're right, man. Once you go to, and what I'm saying psychologically, once you go with Kanye, even if he drops out, you're not going back to Biden or Trump. You're just sitting out. You know what I mean? You're like, because at this point, you're like, I hate both these guys. I'm going to roll with Kanye and just do some Instagram stuff. I'm going to do some Instagram selfies with Kanye, and I'm going to do the cool thing. I'm going to TikTok, and I'm going to be blah, blah, blah. And then Kanye's like, I'm dropping out. You think you're going to rush back to Biden? You're going to be like, nah, bro, I'm chilling. I'm going to go ahead and watch, the first 48 on TV or something. I'm not doing nothing. Like, and for that purpose, that 100% benefits Donald Trump. Now, I don't know, maybe ABL, because I haven't watched. I haven't seen if Trump has responded to any of this. I think he's stayed clear of any. Has he said anything about Kanye? Has anyone asked him or anything like that?
I've not seen it if he has.
I haven't seen him responding to it at all.
He probably shouldn't. He should probably just keep focusing on it.
No, 100%. Don't say nothing. Yeah. Even Kaylee don't need to say nothing. Nothing.
Oh, Kaylee, man, she go hard. Man. I ain't gonna go hard. She go hard, bro. She drops the mic every time I hear her talk. And she's so well prepared, man. They be like, yeah, and Kaylee, you do this. You go, oh, okay. Glad that you mentioned that. She go to the paper.
Pull the paper.
Well, what about this, and I'm like, oh, man, I'm feeling bad for him. I'm like, Kaylee, slow down, man. They can't handle all that pressure. You got to slow down. Let's see. Mr. Tick had a super chat. He said, Agenda 21, Agenda 2030. Possible video on it, question mark. I'd like to hear the three of your take on it. Have you heard of it? Thoughts? Keep up God's work, patriots. Have anybody on here heard of Agenda 21?
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, so they did what they did, man, was Agenda 21. They did a crash course of COVID. I mean, they literally ran a scenario on what it would be like if a pandemic hit America. Mm-hmm. And they went through the full process months before COVID ever hit. And now we see COVID is exactly what they pre-planned for. I mean, they pre-planned an action plan, vaccine, all of this stuff. They did it all. And it's called Agenda 21. So if people are not familiar with it, look it up. But it's very interesting in how they did that, man. I think that, a lot of this stuff is planned. John, thanks so much for the super chat. When you make to Atlanta, give the family 20 more me. Oh, so 20 more for you. I didn't make it to the GoFundMe page. For sure, man. I do that. I'll do that. Maybe they pulled it down. Maybe they still got the GoFundMe up. We'll look into it. That'll be honorable if they pulled it down to a certain degree, because they only had 100,000 limit. They're probably over 250,000. I feel like if they wanted $1 million, they should have put $1 million on there. But I would love to go down there and give her a hug and take them out to dinner or something. Just do some kind for them. I know it's hard to lose a kid. I ain't never lost a child, but my cousin lost his son in a fire, and I was at that funeral and had to bury him, man, and that was horrible. It's horrible carrying a little kid in a casket. It was horrible, and he lost his mama and his son on the same day.
I also want to cut in real quick, D, on that note, because we may not get back to it tonight. But I want to say I appreciate you so much for what you did, because here's the thing: a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people on this chat, they understand that Brandon takes hits, Candace takes hits, ABL, a lot of people, and what they say is, well, Brandon ain't in the streets. He ain't over here doing this. He ain't over here, knocking on doors every single day, doing this, that, the other. This stuff that people did in 1955. You know what I mean? In 1960. Brandon shows that he's using his power and his influence for good, and shows how powerful it can be if used positively. I mean, look at this. Look at how much money was raised here in this amount of time by this gentleman. And this is a thought that he and his wife put together, and whoever else they had, and they put it together. And look at how much money, how much power that is. So when we hear these people on the streets talking about, well, Brandon ain't in the streets, Candace ain't in the streets, these people ain't in whatever. No, that's old school stuff. Right now, you change by using the power that you have to move things. And I appreciate that, man. I don't know if we was going to get back to that topic. I just wanted to cut off and tell you that that's very commendable, man, what you did.
Yeah, man, I think it's God's mission for me, man. You know, a lot of waking people up psychologically is the beginning of everything. You can go knock on their door and talk or whatever all you want, and maybe in a sense, you violating. You in somebody else's community. You don't even live there. They may not even want to receive what you say unless you can orchestrate it in a positive manner. But if they are tuned into your video and look at it, and they begin to change their mind and they begin to change their behaviors, and you can effectively do that in the tens of millions of people at a time. And for me, Candace Owens and Blexit, I mean, we have 9 chapters all around the country. All of our chapters are heavily involved in the community. We partner with the community. We feed people in the community. And we also partner with the police department, which you don't see pretty much no organization actually doing that's a Black-owned organization. So, Candace does a lot of stuff. A lot of it is in the mind. A lot of people need to hear it in the mind before they can act on it in person. But I think it was beautiful what we did. Everybody's talking about, oh, Brandon, all your followers are white. You got white people. You just belong to the white people. But look at what these white people did for their Black family.
I mean, you know what? I got to speak on that right quick, because that's a silly thing to say. Because I mean, let's go back to Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad. I mean, who owned these houses that we were hiding out in, trying to escape slavery? I mean, let's talk about that. There's always been people that helped us along the way that were from different races. Same thing with the war. I mean, who were out there fighting and dying, and the end result being our freedom. So, I mean, that don't make no sense. We got to have all hands on deck if we want a positive change and, a way forward to the future that is something that's going to help all of us grow and expand the way we're supposed to.
Yeah, and that leads me to the next.
I would take it even further than helped. A lot of these people directed this whole thing, man, to be honest with you. When it comes to the Underground Railroad and the abolitionists, they did more than help. Like they were the ones
You're right.
that put the plans in place. They started stuff. They started colleges. Like you hear about Black colleges. A lot of them were started by Caucasian people, but you'll never hear about it. You understand what I'm saying? But it is the truth. They not only helped, because a lot of times they say, oh, well, they came to the march with us and they tapped. Nah, bro. They brought the plans. They drew the design. They did everything. Y'all just stepped through a lot of the doors too. Not that saying that's a bad thing, because a lot of times, a lot of people weren't educated enough to do that. But let's give credit where credit is due. And because when you don't give credit, we get in situations like now where y'all walking around trying to tear down statues of Jesus and tear down statues of people that helped, tear down statues of abolitionists, because you don't know no better. Because now you hear that all white people are the devil. It's the most insane thing that we've ever heard. Where if I sit back and ask you, how many people do you know in your life killed by white cops if you're a Black man? A lot of people say none, but I say, how many Black people do you know killed by other Black people? You'd be like looking on hands like, well, Joe, Pete, Timmy, T, blah, blah, my brother, my sister, my whatever. And we have to understand that and stop listening to the propaganda.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Somebody wrote a post that said 350,000 Union soldiers died. 90% of them were white. I think that's a rhetoric, man, that's been going around this country about Black people and white people and slavery. And I think, dude, it's been a majority a lie and a false presentation of what really has happened. I mean, think about this. The NAACP was founded by Black and white people. People don't forget that there was some white people that helped found the NAACP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all you gotta do is do your research. I don't remember their names, but I believe that it was like 2 white people that started. And some people argue that the white people started it, and then they got black people involved. So it wasn't even initiated by black folks. So,
right.
I mean, like you said, who do you think Harriet Tubman was linking up with? Let me tell you this. Harriet Tubman was married at the time that she escaped. She was married to a free black man. That black man didn't help her get no slaves free. It was a bunch of white people. And it could have been some black people that bought their freedom and different things like that may have owned land. But it was majority white people who were helping black people to safety. I mean, just think about it like this. How did black people get the right to citizenship? White people had to vote on that. Them white Republicans voted unanimously to get black people citizenship. How did they get the right to vote? How was slavery? How were they freed from slaves? It was white people that were voting on this stuff, man. Like, if white people were so evil and racist, black people would still be slaves. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't have. You couldn't find enough white folks to help in the Underground Railroad if they were so racist. You couldn't find enough white Republicans to vote unanimously for the Civil Rights Act. You couldn't find enough, and even today. These universities, a lot of these big major universities are owned by white people. They can say, I'm not accepting affirmative action, but they don't. I mean, you see any walk of life, man. Most of these people who are complaining, they boss is white. And that boss gave them a job and paid them good money and gave them raises every time they supposed to. But then they walking around, I'm oppressed, man. Black man, the white man doing this. You're like, where you work at? McDonald's. Who your boss? Bro, I don't want to hear nothing. You got 5 felonies and that dude gave you an opportunity. I'd say this, other than my daddy and my family members and maybe a few other black people, majority of the people that have blessed me in my life and has been the cause of my success have been majority white people. I mean, I'm being honest. Like, if I was waiting for black people to come to help me out in my life right now, I mean, there's only a few of us. Majority of white people that share my videos. And let me tell you this. People always say, oh, bro, you know what I'm saying? You got all the white people on your page. That says more about black people than it does about me. Because why is it that white people care about freedom? Why is it that white people love the Constitution? Why is it that white people understand facts? And then we have a lot of black people that reject it. That says more about the black community and the black ideology than what it says about my page on my channel. And that's one thing that I always mention. And I'm just like, dude, I'm kind of sad that there's not more black people on my channel. My channel should be 50-50.
Well, what you're saying is 100% true for a host of reasons. Another one is anytime you go into somewhere with a list or you go to protest, you have to have a list of demands. Otherwise, I can't take you seriously. So when you're sitting here saying, Brandon, you're this or you're that because the black experience is not American and blah, blah. What is your alternative, bro? Like, what is your plan? Because this is the best place we could be. So what is your plan? Well, I don't really have a plan. Then you're not here. You're just like the Judas to Jesus. You're just here to cause confusion. You really have no plan, no alternative, no list of demands. So how are we supposed to take you seriously when you sit here and say, oh, I'm oppressed this, I'm oppressed that? Have you seen what it's like to start or to go try to start a business over in Nigeria or Ghana or Saudi Arabia or something like that? Do you have that already linked up? Well, no, I don't have that. Well, what are you doing? I'm just complaining about it. Well, at the end of the day, I can't listen to you then, because right now you're going to, like crabs in a bucket, you're going to bring me down because you're the type of person that'll sit here, make fun of me, Brandon, and ABL hanging out with Donald Trump. And you'll say, oh, man, you over there with Donald Trump taking pictures and blah, 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 blah. That's the man. You going against the man, blah, blah. Well, he's the head man of the greatest country in the world. Your boss or your boss's boss probably is white, but you still collecting that check from him. Like Brandon said, why is it okay for you to hang out with him and he's local and I'm hanging out with the leader of the world and I'm a coon? It sounds to me like you have your situation backwards and you need to be getting on a higher level.
Think about this, bro. If these people were serious and they were really tired of the white man, don't take any more money from white people. Don't take no more money from white people. If a white person is owning or running a company, is a CEO or founder of a company, you don't be involved in it. You know how many people gonna have to take them J's back? You know, take them Air Force Ones back? Or you know how many people can't watch football? Because majority, I mean, I think every team is owned by white people. I mean, I think in the NFL, I think every owner is white. I don't know, maybe it's some black
They
person.
probably have like a minority owner somewhere,
Yeah,
but it's not real. It's like fake.
Somebody in there, but
Yeah, it's fake. It's not real.
It was founded by white folks, run by white folks. Majority of the teams are white folks on the team. So all these NFL players quit. I dare you. Quit making $1 million because that white man is running there because he's the owner, right? He's the owner of the team. They got you in modern day slavery. I dare you to quit that job. And then, you know, it's crazy to me that black people are so disrespectful to white people, and white people have been giving black people opportunities for a very, very long time. And it's just sick to me, man.
It's funny because you look at the NBA. No, they can't call the team owners anymore. They got to call them governors. It's like, what is the purpose? I don't understand. You working here. It's no different than any other job. You work, you got somebody that owns it, whatever, you get paid. Okay, what's the problem? Why are you so worried about the terminology and stuff like that? I feel like a lot of us are just kind of soft and don't understand how to really get through life the right way, you know, without being coddled like babies. You got to get rid of that softness. And a lot of that softness manifests as jealousy. It manifests as envy. You see the white guy that owns a team, you making $100 million a year, but you still feel envy towards the owner. It's like, you could do other things with that money. You're getting plenty of money right now. Why don't you do something with that and start something for yourself rather than feeling inferior and rather than feeling that envy? You know, I'm not necessarily a big LeBron James fan, but he has something he got going on with the production company and whatnot. I was like, okay, that's how you do it. Rather than crying and complaining, how about you go out here and do something for yourself? You got the money, you got the opportunity. Why all the crying and complaining? Let's stop doing that.
Think about this, dude. Just imagine if the NFL players did a big crowd fund. If all the NFL players put some of their money together, all of them, they can probably buy a team. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that who's going to own the team? That's the problem, because they all know, bro. They can't raise their money and then somebody get the glory, because here you go, crabs in a bucket, man. No, man, no. Homeboy can't own the team. He can't be the first black man to own the NFL team. I just feel like we have to be honest about the fact that we can't mesh at times, and that's the reason why we can't mobilize and do something special, because man, we can't get along.
But you know what? Like I think Steven Jackson was talking about, you know, it's not many black owners in the NBA, but you got Ice Cube out here with Big Three, and Steven Jackson played for the Big Three. It's like, okay, you got a black guy over here with his own league. Why don't you promote that rather than crying about the NBA and what they're doing? You see what I'm saying? It's not even about anything other than the envy. You envy the NBA, how it's big and successful and all the money comes from there. You're so envious, you totally overlook something that one of your own black brothers owns in the Big Three.
Let me tell you something, bro. And Derek, I want you to jump on this. Mm-hmm. That's the biggest problem. One of the biggest problems in black community as far as generational wealth is crabs in a bucket mentality, bro. Black people will open up a weave thing in the hood. You know, other black people won't even go support the sister. They go right over there to the Asian people and they go buy all that weave from them. You know, black people, what's his name? I forget the basketball player name. He came out with his own shoe, man. Forget his name. He came out with his own.
Stephon Marbury.
Stephon Marbury came out with his own shoe, bro. They wouldn't even buy his shoes. They in a Nike store buying them Air Force Ones and making Nike billions of dollars.
Right.
But they wouldn't even buy the brother's shoe, man. Even Shaq came out with his own shoe. I think Shaq had his own shoe. I don't know if he was connected with Nike or something. I thought Shaq came out with a shoe. Trying to be an entrepreneur, man, you'll get clowned if you had them Shaqs on. And I think Shaq's shoe was in Walmart. And
yeah,
but you put some Shaqs on, they clowning you. You ain't got no real shoe. You got Shaqs on. You know what I mean? But it's like, we don't understand that. No, you need to support Shaq, even if you thought his shoes were whack, because that's a black-owned business. And Shaq may be able to do more things in the black community, but it's like, nah, man, it ain't happening. Derek, what do you?
I thought that was a great idea, man. When Stephon Marbury did that, I think they were called Starberries, if I remember correctly. But it was like, the shoe was like, ABL, maybe you could tell me, the shoe was like $25, $30 or something, but it was like a high quality shoe. But because the clout chasers were basically like, oh, if you broke, if you got to wear some Starberries or whatever, it wasn't about that. It was a high quality shoe. He just wanted to do something that would be affordable for the people in the hoods and the ghettos and the barrios. Like, to go back to what ABL was saying, he hit the nail on the head, man. He hit the nail on the head. How do you make 100 million? Yet your sole focus is this man shouldn't call me. I shouldn't have to call him an owner. I shouldn't call him an owner because right now, you know why? Even with that 100 million, you feel inferior because you know you a slave because you haven't taken that 100 million, stepped out, and put the 20 million in capital to start a black bank. Why aren't there black-owned banks in every one of these NFL cities? Everyone they could pool together and make banks. They can make hospitals, grocery stores, all kind of stuff, but they don't want to. You know why? Because that involves them giving up a little piece of their pie, and they don't want to give up a piece of their pie. They want to sit here because it's easier to sit here and say, "I'm oppressed, y'all go march," while we sitting here oppressed. It's like, nah, bro. You want to do these summer camps and do all these charities. It's like I say all the time: charity doesn't get to the ghetto. Everybody knows that. We need policy, not charity. And right now, these guys have enough money to do whatever they want. And they're sitting here feeling inferior by calling someone an owner. Imagine me go to the bank and I tell the bank president, you can't call yourself president no more because I feel inferior because I'm the vice president. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go start my own bank. That's what white people do. They go start their own bank. They don't sit here and then stay in the same spot, collect their bread, and then say, you got to change your name to now, instead of president, you got to be the leader man or something like stupid. Again, I said this last week. The stuff a lot of times the black community does, when we put it in the white lexicon, it sounds crazy. Like white people would never do some of this stuff. They would never do some of the stuff that we do. And a lot of it is the crabs in the bucket philosophy, to where if you getting hot, then we got to shade you. When Martin Luther King got hot, he had a 75% disapproval rating when he died because he got too hot. He got the Nobel Prize. He was too cool. And all of a sudden he was a coon because he wasn't talking like Malcolm was. Every time we rise somebody up, we got to drag them down.
Yeah, bro. You hit the nail on the head. The matrix that African Americans live in is crazy to me, and I know because I've been black my whole life, man. Like if there was a white Chicago out here, bro, I just don't think white people would be responding like black people have been. Like we up here. I guarantee you, man. If there was a genocidal city that was all white, I guarantee you white people wouldn't be out here talking about the police. They'll be out here getting stuff. Laws change. You look at the schools. You know, the little shooting that go on at the schools. Bro, that happened every weekend in Chicago. Like they have a mass shooting every weekend in Chicago. There's more kids die in Chicago than die at any of these school shootings. But you know, they all on the TV. They fight for legislation. They changing policies. I don't know what they've done in Chicago. The fact that kids are getting killed now on a routine basis is like, what are y'all doing over there? Dude, it's just out of control. And the matrix idea, like for instance, just imagine this: if a white kids, just say you white and you're in an all white school, and just say you are smart, you got a 4.0 GPA, and a white kid is telling you, "Oh man, why are you trying to be black?" You know, it's not happening like that, man. Because being white for black people is a prestigious thing. It's like you're educated, you got good grades, and you wear your pants up. I remember my friend used to have his daddy was a pastor, and we used to clown him. His daddy made him come to school with his shirt tucked in and a big old belt on. And we'd be like, oh, Chris is whack, bro. You got your shirt tucked in. You know, but Chris was the one that his dad had him structured. Like, you know, he would say, yes, sir. He used to call his dad sir. So when he see his dad used to come to school, he go, yes, sir. We like, oh, lame, bro. Your daddy got you call him sir, bro. Y'all ain't living right. But see, that was the father that had his son on the right track. You know, Chris was a virgin, you know, all of this stuff, man. And like, we shunned him, man. Even when I was in college, we had a dude that came to college. He was a virgin. He was a Christian and all that stuff. Man, I used to clown him so much, man, before I got saved, bro. And he ended up sleeping with some girl, and it wasn't a good experience. And I felt responsible for that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were clowning him, bro. You need to get you some. We didn't push that boy into he didn't mess with a woman that is unbecoming. And that was his first experience, bro. And that man could have waited till he was married and all that stuff. But that's kind of what the hood do to you, bro. It's kind of sad. to be honest, man.
But I agree. I agree. To go.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
To go on with ABL's favorite place, man. His favorite place up in the Chaz. Okay, up in the Chaz up there. This is my thing, and I maybe I'm just a free thinker and I'm weird. Am I the only person that's bothered that the Chaz can be just completely shut down like that quick, and nobody's done the same thing for Chicago? Like I'm just confused sometimes. I'm like, you saw what happened in the Chaz, and like, look, we got people dying here. Let's just violate everybody. Like, why hasn't this kind of similarly been done on some blocks in Chicago? Like, it's like, you got people, the Chaz had what? How many people died? 2 or 3? And then they were like, let's go ahead and shut this down. Dude, they got people dying 2 or 3 a week on the same street in Chicago. It's like, shouldn't we bring some sort of force to something? Like, maybe I'm confused. I'm like, can't we, do some sort of angle like that if they're going to care that much about that particular place in the Pacific Northwest? What about Chicago?
Bro, look at the black militia. I man, them dudes are so cowardice in my personal opinion. Black militia, they came together to, I don't know, some little part where the KKK started in 1715 or something. Oh, not 1715, 1915.
Stone Mountain in Georgia.
Stone Mountain in Georgia. They all up in there. Yeah, white boy, where y'all at? Man, y'all fighting a ghost. Bro, ain't nobody, the Ku Klux Klan is gone, bro. They ain't got no power. They ain't around nothing, doing nothing. Man, I ain't never seen a Klans member a day in my life. I dare the black militia, take your narrow behind after the Chicago. After the Inglewood. Go, you know what I'm saying? Go after the Baltimore in the hood. And you put that militia gear on and you say, we protecting black lives. Ain't nobody taking black lives in this hood.
Right.
They ain't do that. Because
matter of fact,
they're bussing. You know what I'm saying?
Matter of fact, rather than being in Stone Mountain, which is not far from Atlanta, just go to Atlanta. Go to Zone 3, Zone 6. Go to right there where it's really going on, where it's Sequoia Turner, where she was shot and killed. Just go right there. You end up like 45 minutes away at best. If you got good traffic, be there in a half hour. So what are we doing? You out there 200 deep and all black, 95 degrees. Y'all passing out from heat exhaustion and everything else, getting sent to the ER, about to die, dehydrate. Okay, you out there fighting the ghosts in Stone Mountain. Yeah, all right, yeah. But you don't want to go down there to Atlanta and fight the real enemy because you're not really about that. We could take over a lot of our neighborhoods if we really were, serious. And a lot of that, it kind of starts from the home and it ends in the home. All right, you got to raise your kids properly. And if things are going on in your neighborhood that they shouldn't be, then it's up to y'all to fix it. But like Derek was saying, you could have some force to come in there and take it on over, but that could be considered racist. Even if the force is minority, that could be considered racist because, you can't exert force, police brutality. So if a gangbanger then killed 4 or 5 kids in a week and he gets thrown on the ground and his finger get broken, he might want to sue and, it's brutal. And then the community will come out and protest for the gangbanger. What about these 8 kids he didn't kill under the age of 15? Between 11 and 15, he didn't kill 8 kids. You're not really worried about that. But since he broke his finger on the ground while getting arrested, you want to go out there and protest for him. It's crazy.
Dude, that's like we living in the Matrix, bro. I think not all of us, but some people in these inner city communities, man, they are on autopilot for the leftist agenda. They are on autopilot for the demise of their own people. I mean, I'm telling you, man, and Candace Owens hit the nail on the head, and I think we all agree with it, is that we're just glorifying the wrong people. I mean, you have David Dorn, who is as far as I know, man, that man honorably served for like 38 years, his own community, and he got murdered in cold blood, and it was video recorded too. To me, David Dorn's death was even worse to me than George Floyd because David Dorn was just trying to defend what was right. He didn't start fighting people and get into a scuffle and end up getting killed, man. And I'm not saying George Floyd should have got killed. What I'm saying is that George Floyd, he worked his way all the way under that knee. You know what I'm saying? Everything that he did was his fault all the way under that knee. And so, but David Dorn, to me, should be the role model. Man, they don't even they don't do nothing for the man. Black Lives Matter didn't even mention his name. Didn't put his picture up, didn't say RIP. They didn't say nothing, man. And you got brothers in the hood right now, just like ABL said, selling dope. Everybody know you're a dope boy. I mean, dope ain't just going into the thin air, man. They going into people's bodies and they turn into zombies. And you got a dope out there hustling, rap out there doing all this stuff, talking about killing people. And what do? They glorify him. Let me say this one thing. The Baby. Y'all know who The Baby is? The rapper? The
Rapper.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a video about this because and ABL, you should consider it too. I don't know how we'll do it because it'll be hard because of copyright. So The Baby got a song called Rockstar. Now I ain't gonna lie, like the song kind of got some bump to it, but he used that song and he did a new music video about George Floyd. Like at one point he was under a police officer's knee, and then another point they like Black Lives Matter. But when you listen to the song, bro, they talking about killing other black people and running up on people and with the chopper. And I'm like, how stupid do you have to be? They could have picked another one of his songs. They picked the song where he talking about using the chopper to run up on black people and shooting, gunning them down and doing stuff to women. And they got Black Power and George Floyd, I Can't Breathe. I'm like, bro, it can't get no stupider than this. And it's 25 million views on the YouTube. Yeah, man, yeah. Bro, it's the Matrix.
Nobody cares about the facts of the truth. All they care about is the fiction. You know, it's all, like I said, it's all about the cloud. It's like I believe YG, his new album he's wearing a Colin Kaepernick jersey and he's kneeling with the thing. So with the football cheerleaders behind him.
And the big Afro wig on.
So at the end of the day, again, we're in a living session of good times with the left. Like the left, and this is what people are not understanding. People don't understand that around the world, like people say, oh, you're with Trump, you're with this, blah, blah, blah. They understand, they respect Trump around the world. You mean to tell me y'all sitting over here wearing afros with Colin Kaepernick jersey? You don't understand people in Kazakhstan are laughing at you? You don't understand people in India are laughing at you? People in Europe are laughing at you? No, they with us. No, they're not. They're laughing. You're wearing an afro like this is a flashback to a Good Times episode with James Evans Jr. You look like Arnold from Different Strokes right now. They're not sitting there saying, wow, how cool is that? They're sitting here saying, why don't they get it? Why don't they understand that there are black elitists on the left who have sold out? And they've sold out and they are not starting black banks. They're not starting black hospitals. They're not trying to help with black policy, because when Brandon Tatum and Candace Owens and Derek and ABL tell them to go to DC to meet with the senators, they never show up. They're at home because they're too real. They're keeping it real in their bubble bath while people is getting shot and dying at home. But they're the real ones. But Brandon and them is over there kicking in doors, or Rand Paul and senators and stuff in DC. So who's really doing something? The world sees it. Again, it's like Brandon said, it's the Matrix. It's like sometimes you're too far into something to even see what's right in front of you. People over in, people in Japan see it. People in Australia are like, yo, what's going on? But the people right in the middle of it are like, yo, why y'all with all them white folks? I was all them white folks, Brandon. All them white folks, ABL, all them white folks. It's like, no, you don't get it. This is policy being done. This is people actually trying to change things to live in history forever. So to me, like I said, I used to worry about it years ago. Now I just understand, because the same thing happened to Gandhi. The same thing happened to Dr. King. The same thing happened to Bobby Kennedy. The same thing happened to Malcolm. So I just look at it as par for the course when it comes to, like Brandon was saying earlier, crabs in a bucket.
Yeah, man. I think that, I normally don't worry about the color of my skin, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I know this sounds crazy as two left shoes, but like I forget that I'm black. I never even think about it. Like when I'm dealing with people, I just look at people and deal with them based on the way they act. I've never considered that I'm black, and my wife is white. So, I never think about it, bro. I never even care. And the thing is that when you are impartial and you start looking out at people around the world, it's crazy to me, man, because the stuff that brothers and sisters do in this country, and I'm saying black folks, it's embarrassing. I remember looking at the COVID thing. I think the new J's came out or something, bro. I'm out here looking at the thing and I see black people wrapped around this building with a mask on, waiting to bombard this place to get these shoes. I'm in LA right now, and I was on Hollywood Boulevard doing some things with PragerU, and I saw some brothers sitting in the car and they got these brand new tennis shoes, man. They idolizing these tennis shoes. And they in this raggedy car, look like it's about to break down, but they got these fresh tennis shoes that I know they spend about $100, $200 on. And you think about it and you say, I wish that young brothers like that will be idolizing the packet that I got when I developed my LLC. It was a big binder. I wish that I saw a brother in the car with a binder that he's just established the LLC. Instead of looking at these tennis shoes, man, like a lot of people come out and they say, man, I ain't got no opportunities. I'm oppressed. I'm like, why don't you start your own business? Why don't you think of something? Think of something that the world needs that you can provide. Start your own business. Google it. But they know how many points LeBron James didn't hit the last 5 years. They know all this stuff. NFL, Colin Kaepernick, they know all this stuff, but they don't know about their own credit score. They don't know about starting a business, a nonprofit. I mean, these things are just really culturally detrimental in the Black community, man. And like, I hate to keep talking about Black folks, but it's true, man. It's true. I have never in my life been so embarrassed for Black folks in this country than right now. All of this Black Lives Matter stuff is embarrassing. It's like we're in front of the whole world, bro, looking real stupid right now. We're in front of the whole world talking about what's her name was just jogging. It's like, and then some Black conservatives were on that. It's like, bro, I mean, this is just common sense. And then any person around the world will say, how many Black people died in 2019 by police? And they see a number that say 9 unarmed Black people died by police. And then they be like, how many Black people died of Black violence in Chicago? There was 14 in one weekend. And you're like, oh, what are they protesting in the wrong area? You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
It's like what Brandon said. I think you said it before, Brandon. Sometimes you have so much comfortability in something that you're looking for a reason. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you're so comfortable that you want to complain about the air condition you have when you're that comfortable and that spoiled. And I think a lot of times we see that. Normally I would be like, well, B, let's discuss this. There were other times you might have been more embarrassed of Black folks than this time, that time. But I agree with you now. And you know what the point where I agreed with you was when we started sitting here trying to burn down churches. Look, if we get to this point now, I got to draw the line in the sand for real. It's like, nah, bro, like y'all want to go burn churches down and now tear down statues. We've heard of them saying they want to go to Catholic churches and tear down all the Jesus statues because that's white Jesus and other stuff. Look, man, again, we've said this before. If you spend as much time, like Brandon's saying, worried about an LLC, worried about pooling your money together to start a Black bank, as you do worrying about the type of S curl that Jesus had, whether he had a white curl or a Black curl, or he permed his hair, or he looked like he had a 92 Snoop doing gin and juice, you know, whatever you're worried about. If you're worried about that more, then we'd be a lot better off. Furthermore, let me ask this one more time for people, because like I said, we think deep here. All these Black Jesus people, they're sitting here saying they have a certainty that Jesus was Black. We don't know what Jesus was. We don't know if he was white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever. We don't know for real, like for certain. They say, well, no, because the main argument is if you're in that area and it's so hot and you're out there in the sun, you're going to be Black, you're going to be whatever. Here's my problem. When I visited Jerusalem, a lot of the people who were Jews, they're white they got curly hair, but they're white. Like, look at a lot of the Jews there. They're pale skin and they're in the sun all day. So we don't really know for sure because the Jews that are there now, a lot of them are pale. So to me, it's not even really a purpose of arguing about. And it goes back to Brandon's point of is this whole thing so made up that, like Brandon says, the racism now is so made up, they have to like make up cases. You got to do the Jesse 2.0s and the Jesse 5.0s. Then now you're like, you know what? I'm so oppressed that I got to look at a white Jesus and that offends me. Y'all don't even go to church no more. How does that offend you when you don't even go to church? You in the club Saturday night. You ain't even at the church Sunday morning. But, white Jesus, when I got to look at that white Jesus, I got to look at the Black Jesus with an afro. Nah, bro, like, again, this starts to look around the world like people who have just too much spoiled behavior. Like I said, you don't want to rally for real. You don't want to picket for Black banks for real. But when, like Brandon said, when them Jordan 11s come out and them Jordan 13s, all of a sudden you got an extra 400. How did you get an extra 400? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm over here with Brandon trying to be up in the White House, and I ain't trying to spend 400 on shoes. And they talking about, well, I got 400 for brand new J's, but I'm oppressed. Come on, man. I'm not trying to dog you for that, but I'm trying to say,
Focus on the
look,
wrong
let's be
thing.
real. Let's be focused on Kanye on his 808s and Heartbreak. I don't know if y'all, I'm a big Kanye fan, like Candace said she was. On his 808s and Heartbreak album, go check it out. He has a song on there where he just repeats over and over. Y'all worry about the wrong thing, the wrong thing. Y'all worry about the wrong thing. And it's like after a while, I started peeping and I was like, yo, this dude was right. He's right. And I know exactly who he's talking to.
Yeah, the oppression thing is crazy, bro. Like I was looking at Patrick Mahomes. I think he had signed a $500 million contract or something crazy. And then so there was a chart that went through how much he made per day or something. I think he made like $1 million a day or something, 1 point something million a day. It was just crazy. And you think, I don't know if he feel like he's oppressed, but you like, bro, y'all are cutting up, man. There's no way that you can be oppressed in America as a black man making that much money, bro. I mean, listen, man, I do the math sometimes because I'm a big dreamer. I'm like, what would it look like if I was a millionaire? I made $5 million a year. When you look at them numbers, bro, you like, bro, if you made just $5 million a year, take out the taxes at, I don't know, 18% or 30 some percent, depending on how you do it. Bro, you still can buy anything you want to buy. You can have a chef. You can live in a house on a mountain, depending on what state you live in. Bro, you can stay in a big old crazy house driving 5 or 6 cars. Like you have so much money, even if you made $5 million a year, that dude, you can change the world just on you. I mean, not the world, but you can change the world around you. You can go to the hood and pay for a kid to go to college, at least get his first year done, help him with the books. I mean, you can pay for kids to go to private school because private school is not that much, and it's a tax write-off too. You know, me and my wife was thinking about doing that. Like, I think you can give up to $2,000 a year or something like that. I can't remember how much it was, but like you can just donate to some of these private schools, and you can get 1-to-1 tax write-off. And it's like these people got so much money, they could be doing so much more. But let me answer the super chat. Ty said, I had to remember it because it disappeared. Ty had mentioned, are these athletes and celebrities this dumb, or are they acting on behalf of reelecting Trump? And because what he said was that surely they don't want to pay more taxes. That's one thing I won't get. ABL, what you got?
I think it's just kind of dumb, really. Or I don't want to say dumb because I don't know everybody, but I think it's just kind of uninformed. That's probably the best way. They don't understand what's going on. They don't understand this whole thing about taxes. A lot of these guys, when they get to the league, they get surprised with the tax bill. It was like, wait a minute, where's the rest of my money at? I thought I was getting $1 million, but I really got like 500,000, 600,000. Where's the rest of the money at? They don't even understand what's going on. A lot of these guys just don't really get it. They think it is something that's wrong. They don't understand the way tax codes really work. They don't understand how it's, different in state to state. They don't get it. They don't understand what you can do with your money. A lot of these guys get the money. They're coming straight from the hood, no kind of education. They're going to college. They're majoring in football. They have no education about money. So then when they get all this money in their hands, it's like, okay, what do I do with it? Oh, I'm going to go out and buy a car, cash, $100,000. Boom, put it on the table. I bought some jewelry. I bought all of that. Now half of my contract's gone already. Got to get mama a house somewhere, some big crazy house on the hill. I saw, it might have been the Little Richard documentary. And in the documentary, he got this real big house on the hill, this big pink crazy house out in like the middle of nowhere. And his mom was like living in one little small room in the front. And he was like, Mom, what are you doing living in this little small room? You got this whole big house. And, she coming straight from the ghetto was like, this is all I know. Why you give me this big house? You know what I'm saying? Like, they're doing things that aren't even necessary. They don't understand how to really spend their money. Like Brandon was saying, you're talking about $1 million. Even if you get $1 million a year, you can, here where I'm at in Tennessee, is no state tax. You can get a house. I know I've been by there. I know how much they cost. You can get a house on a mountain with all kind of property. You can go out there and do 8 TVs, 600,000 right now today. Okay. You can buy it and it's good. And it's going to keep going up in value too, because this is really kind of a booming area where I'm at. Not far from Atlanta, not far from Nashville. It's a good little neutral spot. people don't really think that way. They think about keeping up with the Joneses, the latest fashions, trying to floss, competing with their teammates. A good documentary that I advise everybody go see, regardless of what you are, black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe, don't care, about money. It's called ESPN 30 for 30 Broke. You got to watch it. One of the guys was on there, Andre Rison, I think his name was. He's the guy that got his house burned down by Lisa Left Eye Lopez back in the day. Right. Anyway, he was talking about how he was spending money just to compete with guys on a team off the field, going to practice in the big car. It's like, practice, really? So you got to pull up the practice in this big expensive car to impress the other guy. You can take that same money and put it towards the thing that actually makes a difference. But they don't do that. So then they cry, I'm oppressed, orange man bad, white man bad, please help me. But you got all the tools you need right in your bank account. You got all the tools you need in your hands and your feet and your legs. You got it right there, but you're not using it for the proper purposes.
I think you're right, man. I think also we have to look at some of these athletes understand what's at stake, that even their money is at stake when it comes to this Instagram, social media society. Look at Drew Brees. He just came out and said something small, and they came at him like he was Adolf Hitler's grandson. Like, it's like, basically he just said, I'm repping the flag, and I'm not gonna, because I have family members, and they're like, oh my gosh, this dude is the second coming of the swastika. It's like, damn, like his teammates were crying on. I was like, yo, what is going on? So I think also that we have a situation where these guys are very understanding of the complex that if you do what's right by God, you might get everything taken away. But are you brave enough to do that? Let's look at a situation that people don't want to focus on a lot. Look at Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott in Dallas is very outgoing when he's like, look, I'll say what I want. I'm for the flag. I'm whatever, because he knows that Jerry Jones behind him don't give a damn. Like, Jerry Jones is up in Dallas. Like, look, we in Dallas. This is Big D, a conservative. I don't give a damn. Like, so Dak knows he has that backing. Whereas if you in some place like with the 49ers, man, look, you better, with that pressure behind you as an athlete, even if you want to say something, or you play for the Warriors, you don't really know. And these people have the power. It doesn't matter how good you are. They have the power to railroad you out of that system. So we have to ask ourselves, who's the new Jim Brown today? Who's the new Cassius Clay? Like, who's the new Muhammad Ali that is willing to risk it all for real? Because we see a lot of these dudes talking about, oh, I'm risking it and I'm doing this, and we going to go paint a yellow Black Lives Matter in front of the street and all this other stuff. What is that doing? Brandon, ABL, what is that doing? What does it do whenever you go paint this on the street and you put Black Lives, I painted this? What is that clout chasing doing, man? That's not policy. That's not doing anything. That's the equivalent of right after Trump was elected, they had a women's march, right? That women's march had all these people there. I was there. I just happened to be there. All these people's crazy, but they had no list of demands, right? So you doing all this performing, no list of demands. You know what happens the next morning? All those signs you had on the street, they come and street sweep them up, nothing. So it's nothing. You go, I'm going paint Black Lives Matter. I'm going whatever. Well, this is our list of demands. We want prison reform. Oops, Trump already did that. Oh, this is our list of demands. Well, we want better things for the HBCUs. Oops, Trump already did that too. Well, what are we fighting for then? Exactly. You fighting for Joe Biden, and y'all doing. I thought it was Brandon, but it might have been Candace that put the post up that said this whole Black Lives Matter money thing is just an emergency funding for Joe Biden's campaign, who wasn't getting donations. It's just a massive slush fund emergency. Like, we need money right now because he's drowning like the Titanic, and it worked. And black folks are still sitting here like, well, what's next? What's our next thing? And I'm sitting here like, come on, y'all can't fall for this same okie doke over and over and over.
Think about this for a minute, man. They raised tens of millions of dollars for George Floyd, just for one person, just for that one guy. I'm wondering, why can't people crowdfund for the education and the acceleration of success for young people in the inner city? I just don't understand that. I would never understand that. these politicians, man, raise hundreds of millions of dollars for $19 million in one day. We can't raise that money to help Black businesses in the inner city. I'm not saying help Black businesses out here in LA. I'm saying in the city, they should be able to crowdfund and raise money to help other Black people that are in their city. You know how many Black people that have lost their jobs because of COVID-19? And then also how many Black people lost their jobs because of all this protesting and rioting? I mean, why? I would love to see $100 million raised that could be given to some of these Black people in these inner city communities. And it can be raised by the people in the community or even around the country if they want to do that. But bro, they won't even talk about any of this stuff. Like how does kids going to school? They in high school with like a third grade education, a third grade reading record. It's like, what is happening, bro? Like, you don't need to defund the police to do stuff in the community. All you have to do is start funding the community. You know, there's enough Black millionaires. I mean, look, Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z and Beyonce. Just use those three, bro. Pick one city. They could remodel the whole school. They could say, we're gonna have private school. We pay our own teachers. I mean, let's talk about this real quick. Stephon Marbury, I think it's his name, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't he make a school? He made a private school, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
I know LeBron had something like that, but I'm not sure about that.
Stephon Marbury made he created a private school where, you know, 100%, I think, acceptance rates in the college or something like that he did on his own. But people don't talk about that. It's him or some other player. I think it's Stephon Marbury. So it's a private school that he created that he owns. He owns the school. He hires the teachers. He fires them, or whatever he needs to do. He creates the curriculum, everything else. LeBron James. Let me tell you how whack LeBron James did his school. He put the burden on the citizens because he was to cover the school for the first couple of years, I think, till they reached capacity. And then the burden was on the taxpayer, which is the people that live in the community. And then LeBron James, the school is actually in the school district and it's owned by the ISD. So he don't even pick the teachers. He can't pick the curriculum. He don't own the school. It's almost one of them Ponzi schemes where they say, hey, go put this money in and this is technically your business. It's not your business. You don't own the business. You just got your name on it. So all he did was pay enough money to name the school and put his pictures of Muhammad Ali and them in there. But he don't have no equity in the school. If when I mean equity, he can't pick anything. If teachers are being discriminatory and doing wrong things against Black folks, the school district is the one to fire them, not LeBron James. And so we get hoodwinked every time. And I know what he did. It was kind of like almost like, and I know you guys know about it because you're businessmen, but it's like white labeling. All he did was like white label a school where he put his name on it. The manufacturers and the people who are making the product is the school district. You know, so it's like it's sad to me that we can't even build a school. And I saw a story about a guy on the East Coast, and I don't know who he is. I don't even think he's famous. He raised $1 million, and he started his own school, his own grade school. I don't even think it's private. Maybe it is private. But all of the young Black kids, it's an all Black school, I believe. He's Black. He drives some of the kids to school every day. He go pick them up in his van, take them to school. And he's a light-skinned brother. So if you Google it, you'll see him right away. And all the kids dress in uniforms. They got to be pristine. You know, they have to have great behavior. I think he has 100% college acceptance rate out of that grade school. I think it's 100%. Every kid go to college that goes to his private school. It's somewhere on the East Coast, bro. I watched the documentary, and it almost made me cry, man.
I think I know you're talking about. He's a light-skinned dude. I think Diddy tried to do a school with him too after he saw that. So I don't know how far that got, but I think Diddy is working on a school with him too. But yeah. Like again, where's all these people pushing him to do even more? You know what I mean? Like, because he could use the funding. Where's all these ball players, all these athletes using that model to do that in Cleveland? Do that like LeBron School in Akron, like you say, where the burden is on the taxpayer. Everybody knows that. Like, well, maybe not everybody, because they give LeBron credit like he going into the school every year and spending $50 million. That's not happening. And those, you could look that up right now and see the burden is on the actual taxpayer. And there's people in Akron, I believe, who are mad as hell. It's kind of like, hey, we got bamboozled on this whole thing.
Bamboozled,
We
bro.
thought this was something that it really wasn't. B.
Jalen Rose. It's Jalen Rose.
Okay.
Jalen
Oh
Rose.
yeah, Jalen Rose, JRLA.
Yeah, he had the Jalen Rose did the private school. You'll never hear about Jalen Rose though. He did a real legit school. He owned the school private. They, he structures everything there. And LeBron James have a little white label school, and now they talking about LeBron James the king. I'm not mad at him. At least he did something. But bro, with all that money you making, actually do it.
And Jalen Rose is not like as much. He's not a super millionaire like LeBron is. He has some money, but he ain't making that kind of money. I mean, Jalen Rose was a decent player in the NBA, but never on a level of LeBron James or anything like that. No production company. He works for ESPN. That's what he does now. But LeBron, when he retires, he could start his own TV channel and do something like that. So he has the money. He has the ability. And what Jalen Rose does is get some of his friends, former guys in the league like Isaiah Thomas, to sponsor like a class or to, give big donations, 50,000 here, 75 here, 25, 100,000 here, and it works. And they're a successful place, and he's hands-on with it. But LeBron, like you said, he's just white labeling it, talking about, hey, I got a school. Meanwhile, the taxpayers are paying the money. It's like, well, wait a minute, what's really going on here? So he could do a lot better with that for sure. Jalen Rose, that's a real deal.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that because somebody made the comparison between Jalen Rose and what he did with his school versus LeBron. And dude, it was mortifying to know that LeBron James has no control over his school. That's supposed to be his school. And it's like, I think somebody see, this is what he did. This is what I think he did. When he left Cleveland, he left on a bad note. His legacy was kind of tarnished because he left Cleveland and people hated him. So I think it was like right when he was leaving for LA, he made the school. And I'm telling you, it was. I believe personally, I think it was a PR thing that he did to keep his clout in Cleveland by saying, you know what, I'm gonna do this, build this school, so I'm gonna keep my roots here. And then he went on to LA and played. So that was something that I thought maybe his PR people told him to do. Like, bro, you're gonna get a lot of heat. People ain't gonna want you in the Hall of Fame if you switching sides like this. You ain't really been winning no championships like other people have, and you finna switch squads again. And this is your hometown. Make you a little school. We can set it up in minutes, man. We'll white label it. They'll put your name on it. You will just invest for the first 5 years. It's probably a tax write-off. And once they reach capacity, the taxpayers will pay it. You gone. You don't even you ain't even in Cleveland no more. By the time they recognize what happened, you gone, bro. But you got your minute of fame with the school system. And I just think that I wish that we would be more prominent in our development. Like you said, JP Morgan Chase. Like, these are actual people who develop these banks. Right. And, we have an opportunity to do some of these things too. I mean, there's a digital realm as well. You don't even need a brick and mortar physical location. You can probably do some digital banking. I'm sure that's the new wave. You feel me? So they can do more, man. And I don't know why we don't. Let me get Casey's super chat. Casey, thank you much for super chat. Said, yes, I'm a teacher, and I would love to see money raised and bring back the electives like wood shop and home ec to give the kids something to attach themselves to and learn to be proud of their accomplishments. Yeah, I mean 100%. I mean, they should teach kids how to do things in school with their hands, and so they don't have to go to college. They can take their trade and go out into the world.
That's crazy,
teach some real skills, because a lot of these kids have no real skills. All they got is just indoctrination. They got how to be a victim and how to be a SJW and stuff like that. How to cry, how to complain to the government. But do you know how to actually change a light bulb? I know people that are grown adults that cannot change light bulbs. I've heard stories about people living in apartments and they call in the office talking about, hey, my light bulb in my bathroom blew out. Can you come change it for me? It's like, really? You're a grown man, so you're 28 years old. So these kids have zero skills, and then they're wondering why they're struggling and having a hard time. It's like, well, you're not teaching yourself any kind of skills, or you were not taught it as a kid. Therefore, you're going to have a hard time out here just in the world trying to compete with other people that have skills, and then they're bringing in the legal H-1Bs, H-2Bs, visas, the immigrants over here. that been working on cars since they've been 5 years old. You understand what I'm saying? Smoking cigarettes and everything else. And people are voting for the Democrats. They're voting for the Democrats that do that to them. It's kind of they're kind of getting set up because on one end, the Democrats refuse to put these, hard skills back into school that kids need. On the other hand, they want to bring in the H-1Bs, H-2Bs, illegal aliens, giving them amnesty that have the skills. So they're being replaced, and it's their own fault because their parents and whatnot, and they are actually voting for it. It's a crazy cycle.
Oprah, let's see, Georgianne said, Oprah is from Chicago and built schools in Africa. She could change all of this with one check. I often wonder that, man, like as God blessed me and I begin to be more successful and I make more money, more great investments, I start to look at all the things I can do for people. And I'm thinking to myself, like for instance, my wife had a car or whatever that pretty much almost paid off. We paid the car off and we gave it to my mama. So we got my mama to her. It's a brand new car. And I'm thinking that's like chump change. I mean, Oprah could probably spend that much on a coffee every day or something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, to her, it's like me drinking a coffee every day. And I'm thinking of how many people I can help with the little money I have or the influence that I have. And I'm like, Oprah Winfrey, I would assume that she could cut $100 million check like it ain't nothing.
I mean, Brandon, let's not even talk about the check. Let's talk about the clout. See, because once you reach a certain point, this is what I'm trying to tell people right now. There's a level of influence that you have even as LeBron. Remember, when Oprah gave all those cars away, she ain't paid for them cars. The company was like, we get enough clout from giving this on Oprah's show. So my question is, why isn't all these people using their clout with these companies? They won't even have to cut the check. All they got to do is say it, and the companies are glad to say. I guarantee you, I've said this before hundreds of times. If these basketball players basically went, the top 10 African-American basketball players said, we're not dribbling another ball. We're not dribbling one other ball until there's brand new school books in the top 10 inner cities in 400 schools. I guarantee you within 5 days, there'd be new school books. And you know who they come from? Nike, Under Armour, Puma. They all split the bill because at the end of the day, they'd be like, look, it's good for us. It's good for our marketing. It's good for whatever. So why don't they do it? It's like your guy said earlier. Are they doing it because are they not doing it because they're ignorant, or are they not doing it because there's a bigger plan? And they know, and they kind of like, we don't want to be, we want to be the kings. We want to be King Ding-a-ling on top. And we don't want, we saying that we want y'all to shine, but do we really want to shine, or do we still want y'all to king me and worship me? Do we really want to help?
Yeah, bro. I mean, think about this. There was the black athletes at Kansas State decided that they were going to forfeit their season. They're not going to play for the sports teams. And it was multiple teams, multiple sports, where black athletes said, we're not going to play because of a white kid made a tweet about George Floyd that they didn't like. He pretty much said George Floyd is finally a week clean of drugs. I mean, I think it was insensitive to say, but he said it on Twitter, and it's one kid in the entire university that don't have any position of power. They said, we're not going to play no more. You tell me, think about this. Why couldn't they do that like you said? I say we're not going to play no more unless some stuff change in the inner cities all in Kansas, around Kansas State. They're not going to do it. It's because we on autopilot, the autopilot of stupidity.
I mean, that's the best case scenario. The best case scenario is they're ignorant. The worst case scenario is somebody got some handlers somewhere that's saying, you ain't doing nothing because we really control you. Because I don't know if y'all remember back in the day when the gentleman from the Clippers, remember the owner from the Clippers, had got caught. He was saying some racial stuff and the girl had taped him. Remember Donald Sterling. My thing was, I got so hyped because I was like, look, oh my God, this is dope, because the NBA these players, they sitting here talking about, oh, we're going to get him fired. We're going to get him fired. Well, sure enough, they got him ousted, but I think he got more money when he got ousted. Like if they forced him to sell a team, he got more money. Whereas if I'm a player, I'm like, okay, this is dope because I could take Chris Paul and the top 10 of us and say, we're not dribbling another ball until we got 10 black owners in the league. Because right now we feel like there's some stuff going on with our owners and we feel like our work environment has been compromised. So there's a racial problem here. We want to take it to Congress. They could have done that. and probably got 10 black owners.
Bro, they gotta pay that Bentley. They gotta get that house on the hill. They got the women. They trying to make it rain at the club, bro. You can't be messing with that money. So they'll protest.
You just can't be messing with that money up.
When that money start hitting, they ain't protesting no more. But I gotta run here in a minute. I gotta go to a dinner. But no, I agree 100%. Let me do this real quick, baby. What's that company you said? Goya. I've never heard of Goya, but Derek know what I'm talking about. I heard that they trying to take down a conservative company, Goya, because the Hispanic CEO or founder, I'm not sure what his position is, that he said we should be blessed to have a president. So I'm telling y'all, go out, support Goya. We need to be combating the stupid stuff that they're doing. When they go try to cancel it, let's go make their revenue go up. You know what I'm saying? When they going and trying to come after us, we got to come back, and we don't have to do it violently. We can do it smart.
I want to back that up too. I put a post up about Goya that right now, put it up. It had like all kinds of people on it. I put up a picture of me, a fake modeling picture, and I told Goya, if y'all want me to represent y'all, I'm willing to do all kind of bean. If you want me to pose with the whatever you got, the Mexican goods, I'm there with it. It's all good. Let's do the Goya. Also, Brandon, speaking along that line, I would love to try to reach out to Terry Crews, man, because he's been getting just attacked, persecuted crazily. And I'd love to try to get him on and reach out. I've tried to reach out to some people that know people through people, but he has really taken it. You know, he's went to the extreme, and it's like, yo, in case y'all thought I was joking, I am going to go down with the ship. So, I mean, I love what he's doing
on this hill. And I tell Terry Crews, come on over to our side, man. Let's use the resources. Let's all work together, bro, because between the video that ABL made, my video, I mean, everybody saw him on TV, but people who are doing commentary on the conservative side are getting millions of views of our commentary on how Terry Crews was actually right, man. And just looking at ABL video, I think that video gonna hit 1 million. It said like 800K, right? The one you did on Terry Crews. I'll be on your page. Yeah, I'll be watching. I'll be like, dang, he got one for to hit 1 million, man. I need to get my views up. So that Terry Crews one was really good, man, and I think we should be on his side. So what I'm gonna do, Goya is Goya. Goya, go support that organization. I'm gonna try to support it. My wife knows exactly who they are.
We're gonna buy $200 of their canned goods and donate it to the Dream City in Phoenix, the Dream Center.
Dream Center, the church. Okay, so yeah, what we're gonna do is the church that we attend, called the Dream Center in Phoenix, Arizona. Derek, you were there with us. They had allowed Trump to use their facility to do his rally at, which is funny because we liked the church before they did that, and I'm like, oh, we love y'all now. You know?
Right.
Y'all ain't afraid. The pastor said, I'm unafraid. I made a promise to let them use the facility, so I'm gonna let them do it. You know, and he ended up giving the prayer during the thing, man. I love those guys, man. I donate to that church, Dream Center in Phoenix. So we're gonna buy a couple $100 worth of the Goya canned goods, and we're gonna donate it to the church, the Dream Center Church. And I will say, y'all do the same, man. Even if you buy up the canned goods, go give them out to people if you don't need them. Take it to the food bank, the church. Go give it to people on the street. You know what I'm saying? Give them a can opener and give it to them, and let them open it up and eat it if they want to. I don't know if you have to cook some of it. I doubt you have to if it's in a can. But anyway, man, hey, everybody tell where people can find you on your social media. ABL is probably the easiest one. I wish I was smart enough to do something simple like that. But ABL, where can they find you, bro?
Yeah, the easiest way is right here on YouTube. Just search the 3 letters. It's right here. ABL. I come right on the first result. Also, go to my website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Everything is right there. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, of course, YouTube. I'm everywhere.
Parler?
Check it on out.
Are you on Parler?
No, I'm not.
Is there a reason why you're not on Parler, or you just ain't got around to it?
I could get into it. That's a conversation right there.
You can't deny right now. So, Derek, how do you find you, Derek?
You can find me on YouTube at Derek Gradinigo, on Facebook and Instagram at Derek Gradinigo, Parler at Derek Gradinigo, and the only one that's different is Twitter, and Twitter is at D, just the initial D, Gradinigo. So before I get out of here, though, Brandon, I want to tell you a shout out to Don Lemon, because he's the gift that keeps on giving, like you said, bro. Like your videos on Don and ABLs too. Y'all been getting Don Lemon so hard, man. Don Lemon just been getting he been get, or as I forgot who called him Don Lemon or something. Then now they call him Lemon or something. But hey, man, those videos are priceless, bro. Don Lemon is, I mean, you getting it from the, what did he say before in 2013, 2012? He was agreeing with everything now.
Don Lemon head going down, man. He going down. He making me a lot of revenue on the YouTube with all these good videos that I'm putting out talking about him. So anyway, but man, I love you guys. I love you, brothers, man. Thank y'all for coming on here, man. I think it was a God thing for us to come together, man. It was on my heart to make this live stream, this little chat. We're gonna try to keep innovating, and I just want to say publicly, man, how much I'm thankful for ABL, you, and Derek for even coming on here, man. I know y'all dedicating 2 hours of your time to be on this live stream, and ABL, you got your own channel where you go live at least 3 times a week. And so I just want you guys to know that I'm very grateful and thankful for you guys. For everybody that's watching, we do this normally every Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. East Coast time. So you can check us out next week. We should be on schedule unless somebody asks me to go to dinner again with Dennis Prager. You know, I'm not going to turn down Dennis Prager. I was on his fireside chat. I was invited, you know, it said his house. So we were at his house, you know, hanging out. And I was like, Dennis Prager of the live stream. I said, I need to push it back. And I got to run down. I got to run down because we're going to go to dinner again. And, you know, I'm just grateful. But my thing is that I want to show love to everybody, and I want us all to win, brother. I want us all to win. So God bless y'all. Thank y'all for watching. ABL, Derek, y'all stay tuned. See y'all later. Peace.
Peace.